Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to your new favorite place on the internet. My name is Bella, and I've used K-pop photo cards as mic holders, I've used bookmarks, and I just feel like I kind of want to start using books now. This is also like a way of me giving you guys book recommendations in every single video. So today's book recommendation is An Excellent Host by Chelsea G. Summers. I read this a while ago, but I still think about it from time to time. This story is inspired by the Maenads, which are nymphs in Greek mythology, and we're following this group of women who are living in the modern world, and they are they're having different experiences with dating and with men. And basically, this group of women who are really just sisters, like they are so connected to each other. They spend every single second of their lives together. They've kind of become a single entity. They basically lure men into different Airbnbs in order to have fun and live their lives to the fullest. So yeah, An Excellent Host. It's chaotic, it's crazy, it's unhinged, it's just madness, but in the most beautiful way possible. Like, the writing of Chelsea G. Summers really shines through, like the power that her writing has. It's such a wonderful showcase of her talent. So that is this week's book recommendation, and thank you, An Excellent Host, for being today's mic holder. And now, moving on to today's video, I am so excited for it because it's literally just an excuse for me to talk about all of the books that I'm excited to read before the end of 2025, which somehow is like less than 60 days away, and I don't even want to think about that. Like, what do you mean 2025 is almost coming to a close? Like, I feel like this year has been so incredibly long, but at the same time, where did all the months go? I mean, if I gave you guys like a rundown of my year, you would be like, how did you survive 2025? And honestly, I do not have an answer for that. I don't know how I'm still here, but I'm so grateful and I am so thankful that I can look forward to new books and to new reads, and maybe even possibly finding a new favorite book before the year ends. So I really just want to talk to you guys about all of the books that are now in front of me, and the perfect way to do that is by doing the end of the year book tag. I personally love myself a good book tag. I always find them so entertaining to both watch and do for myself. So it would also be super fun if you would answer these questions down in the comments below, so that way we can kind of share all of the books that we're excited for and kind of hype each other up or like motivate each other to read these books before 2026 begins, which I'm not. Let's not think about that. Let's just go on to the first question. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Okay, so for this question, I do have two books on my currently reading list that I really, really want to finish before the year ends. Like, if I don't, it's not going to be the end of the world, but also I would feel so good about myself. I feel like it's doable, so I really want to try my best to do so. The very first book that we have here is Death Be Not Proud, written by John Gunther. I am in the middle, as you can see, I'm in the middle of reading this book. I think I'm literally like halfway through it. I'm on page 92, which is the beginning of chapter 4. It's this father telling us the story of his son and how they lost him to a brain tumor at 17 years old. And the father is just telling us everything that they went through, like how it started when they first found out, all of the different tests and different doctors that they went to see, and how Johnny, which is his son, he just always had the most positive, the most optimistic, energetic, happy personality, or like happy disposition. He never gave up. He genuinely thought that everything was going to turn out all right. And honestly, reading this can be heartbreaking at times. I won't lie to you. Like, there are times where I've had to put the book down because it's just like a lot for me to read in one sitting. But I think like it's just, yeah, it's a really beautiful yet heartbreaking, a very bittersweet reading experience, so maybe that's why it's taken me a while to get through it, but I am definitely going to be finishing it. And then the other book, I've literally been reading this since like the end of September, early days October, and that is Sylvia Plath's collected poems. This is a humongous book. It really is, but it has literally every single poem that Sylvia Plath has ever written. And let me just show you where I am. I mean, I'm a little bit over halfway through, but I still have such a long way to go. I genuinely have no idea if it's even going to be possible for me to finish this entire collection by the end of the year, but I really want to try my hardest because, I was gonna say that I'm enjoying it, but like, maybe I'm not the biggest fan of Sylvia Plath's poetry. I don't know, like I definitely need to keep reading. There have been a couple, I don't even know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. There have been a couple of poems that I have annotated and underlined, but it's been very minimal. And I don't know if it's just because I don't really vibe with Sylvia Plath's poetry or if it's just, I don't even know what the other alternative could be, but I definitely want to keep giving it a chance because I've only made it to the 1960s. So I have a very long way to go, but I am excited to continue because it's Sylvia Plath, okay? I love the Bell Jar. I love the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath, which I have also read. I feel like the next logical step would be to read her poetry, and that's something that I want to do this year. So let's see if I can actually manage to do that before the year ends. Do you have any autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Okay, I do actually, and I'm so excited for this one because it's a recent gift and it looks like the perfect pick to transition from autumn to winter. I mean, you could totally read these in either month, and I feel like it would be a perfect fit. And that is Madonna in a Fur Coat. I recently received this as a gift from Mairead, and this is one of her favorite books. She does have a knack for sending books that absolutely destroy me, that make me rethink my entire life and make me sob at 2 a.m. in the middle of a reading challenge, but somehow I would trust her with my life. Like, now I know what her reading tastes are like, so when she said that she thinks I would really enjoy this, I don't doubt her for a second. And it's so short as well. Like, I feel like I could totally read this in less than a week. Ever since I saw this on the internet, I don't even know where the first time that I saw this book was, but it was definitely a couple of years back. And even you guys in the comments have mentioned it or recommended it to me, and I think it's time that I finally give it a try and see how I feel about it. Moving and memorable, full of yearning and melancholy, like that is the type of books that I adore. And I also feel like those are the types of books that are perfect for autumn, you know, just filled with melancholy and nostalgia and regret and, you know, love, but maybe unrequited love, who knows? A tale of young love and disenchantment, of missed opportunities and passion's elusive, flickering flame. That is a literal perfect book for autumn. There is a bird on my window, in my window, on my, outside my window. Oh, no, okay. I think the little birdie agrees. Madonna in a Fur Coat is the perfect autumnal. What was even the question? Sorry, I got confused. I also have another one, which I don't own a physical copy of, which it will forever be my biggest heartbreak of the year. But this is another book that I think would be a perfect transition read. I am dying to read it because I read Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews for October. Easiest 5-star that I've given in that month. So when I saw that they also came out with Hazelthorn, I mean, just look at this cover. Come on now. They just said, how much do you want your cover to convey autumn? And the designers said yes. And that's what we got. This is just pure brilliance. It's stunning, it's beautiful, and I wish I had a physical copy, but I do not. But that is not going to stop me from reading it because I am so excited. I don't even know what it's about. I've heard some of my Patreons say that it's like Don't Let the Forest In, but different. So I don't really know what to take away from that, but they have said also that it is better than Don't Let the Forest In. And since Don't Let the Forest In was a 5-star for me, I'm already imagining Hazelthorn being a 6 out of 5 stars. So that would be an incredible find. I need to read these 2 books for this transitory period between fall and winter. It's going to make my heart feel so full, and it has to happen. It just does, okay? It's not a want, it's a need. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Okay, so this one, I'm usually not the best at finding out about new releases. I am so behind whenever a new book gets released. I usually find out about them through my Discord server or because somebody recommended it to me on the comments. Like, it's just really hard for me to keep up with the amount of new books that are constantly being published and being pushed by different publishing houses. Even though it is a little bit hard for me to keep up. I do have a couple of new releases that I've been keeping an eye out because I'm just dying to get my hands on them, but they all come out in December. So best believe I already know what I'm going to be asking Santa for Christmas this year, and that is volume 14? No, volume 15 of Spy Family. So Spy Family is this really cozy and fun and funny story about this family that, you know, it's made up of very different characters. Like, for example, the dad is a spy, the mom is a contract killer, the daughter can read minds. We also have a dog that has its own set of powers. Like, it's just like this crazy group of people that have somehow found each other, and now they're like the perfect definition of what a found family should be. And every time that I read a Spy Family volume, it fills me with so much warmth, and it's always so fun to read, and it's so funny. Like, the humor of the Spy Family novels or manga volumes are so on point every single time. So I'm definitely counting down the days until I can get my hands on volume 15. Another manga volume that is coming out December 2nd is A Sign of Affection volume 12. I recently got volume 11, and Google told me that that was the very last book, or like the very last volume in the series. So I was like, oh, I finally completed A Sign of Affection, but no, there's gonna be so many other volumes. So now I don't even know when this series is going to be completed, which I'm not even complaining because I adore A Sign of Affection. It won't hurt me to have like 20 more volumes of their story. So yeah, that's another volume that I'm looking forward to. But ultimately, I think the release that I am looking forward to the most, it comes out literally the 30th of December, so like a day away from 2026. So I'm basically going to be reading it next year, but still, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's The Awakening of Roku. So basically, I read The Reckoning of Roku, I think earlier this year, and absolutely loved it. I think it was like a 4.5 out of 5 star, and I feel like if you know Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm over-explaining something that everybody probably already knows, but basically, for a couple of years now, the writers or the creators of that series, Avatar: The Last Airbender, they've been coming out with these novels based on the avatars that came before Avatar Aang, you know, like the different reincarnations before Aang was even born. So we have Avatar Roku, we have Esta Niña Kyoshi, and then we also have, ¿cómo se llama el de aire? Yang Chen, okay? The most recent adaptation that we've been getting is the story of Roku. So that's the avatar that came right before Aang, you know, the fire avatar, and it's a pretty important avatar in the story of Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I've just been enjoying the heck out of The Reckoning of Roku, and The Awakening of Roku comes out the 30th of December, which is criminally so far away. So that's definitely the book that I am waiting for with bated breath. I feel like once that book finally gets published, I'm going to let out a breath that I didn't know I was holding, but secretly I did know that I was holding it. What are 3 books that you really want to read before the end of the year? So these 3 books, I mean, they're pretty okay, you know? So if you saw my November TBR, then you know that one of the books that I have to read is The Luciads, which so many of you were so shocked and surprised when I pulled this book out, because apparently this is like a really big thing in Portugal and also Brazil. This is the backbone of classic literature of Portugal, and I definitely have to read it before the year ends, because apart from the fact that it came out on my November TBR, I genuinely want to read it. Like, I really want to know why so many people were like shocked and excited for me to read this. I want to make up my own mind. I want to see how much I enjoy it. I want to share the experience with you guys, and it has to happen this year because I want it to happen this year, and it's not even that big, you know? I feel like I'll definitely have enough time to read The Luciads. Another book that I recently got, this was a gift from Joanna, so Joanna, if you're watching, thank you so much. This is literally perfect for December, so even if the wheel doesn't choose it for next month's TBR, I'm still going to be reading Good Spirits by B.K. Borson. I mean, guys, look at the cover. This just screams Christmas, okay? And look at this. Like, it's just so cute. Fall in love with the ghost of Christmas Past in this magical romance from New York Times bestselling author of Love Light Farms. He's the ghost of Christmas Past. She's not exactly Scrooge. Ghost of Christmas Past, Nolan Callahan intends to spend this holiday haunting like every other. Get in, get out, return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost awaiting the afterlife. But when he's faced with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. I'm sorry, okay, so this, are you telling me this is the romance between a ghost and a human girl? You know what? Sign me up. I've read weirder things, and I've enjoyed them. So I feel like this could be really fun, especially because it's from B.K. Borison. I would trust B.K. Borison with my life. If I could only read one romance author for the rest of my life, I would choose B.K. Borison. And you can write that down, because I will never take that statement back. I mean it with my entire heart. It was very kind of B.K. Borison to come out with this book just right now when I needed a book like this, just cozy, Christmas, wintry vibes. This is what I need in my life. And honestly, this is going to be a great reprieve. It's going to give me the courage that I need, you know? It's going to make me comfortable enough. It's going to give me enough safety for me to feel like I can read the last book that I really need to read in 2025. 2026 cannot start if I have not finished The Three Musketeers. Like, again, this is another book that came out in my November TBR, and when it came out, like, I was very honest with you guys. I was scared. I was hesitant. I was scared of the commitment of this. How many pages does this even have? 555 pages. Okay, that's a pretty satisfying page number, not gonna lie, but this has over 550 pages. You could totally say that. And I haven't started. As long as I finish it in December, everything will be okay. I even already put in the bookmark that I'm going to be using, because this is the bookmark that has gotten me places, okay? This bookmark says, "You finished War and Peace, you can finish this book." This book, or no, this bookmark has been with me through every intimidating classic that I've picked up, because it may sound like, or it may look like such a silly little detail, but it really just like gives me that motivation, knowing that yes, I may be scared, but it's better to do it being afraid than just, you know, standing still and being paralyzed by that fear. I have had this since 2024. I don't want to let another year go by without me having read The Three Musketeers, especially because I feel like I'm going to enjoy it. So the next question is there a book that you think could shock you and become your new favorite book of the year? Looking at this pile of books that I am hopefully going to be reading before the year ends, I think there is one book that could truly surprise me, because I already know that I'm going to love it. I just don't know how much. So I think the one book that could definitely surprise me is Madonna in the Fur Coat. Like, this would look so good in my favorites shelf. I can already envision this book up there. If there's something that I've learned this year, is that short books can pack a punch. Behind the Painting is the first book that comes to mind. Giovanni's Room is also pretty short, and it was a devastatingly beautiful, or a beautifully devastating story. I'm still thinking about it, and I read it like 2 weeks ago. But yes, the point is, I really do think Madonna in the Fur Coat is going to surprise me and try to sneak in as a new favorite of 2025. It just looks like a new favorite. You know what I mean? It looks like it belongs in my favorites shelf. And then the final question of the end of the year book tag is, have you already started making reading plans for 2026? The short answer would be yes, I have started to make some reading plans for next year. And then the long answer, which is usually the one that I always go for, especially when talking about books, is I'm going to be reading 3 of the biggest classics that I own in 2026. And just saying that out loud, it feels so unrealistic. It feels like, Bella, why are you doing this to yourself? But also, is there any other way of being? Am I really, truly being myself if I'm not pushing myself to read huge classics? I feel like at this point, it's become a hobby of mine to challenge myself to read these huge classics and to make a big deal out of them. Because you know what? Life is just too short to not try and have fun with everything that you do. So yeah, I have started making reading plans for 2026. I promised myself that in 2026, I am finally like like even touching it. Oh my goodness. Okay. In 2026, I am finally going to be reading Don Quixote, written by Cervantes. This book needs no introduction. I don't even know how many pages this has. I feel like I blocked it out. This has close to 1,000 pages. I think. Ay, Dios mío. Okay. You know what? I've read longer books, so I feel like this is definitely doable. It's just so dense. You know, I have tried reading Don Quixote in Spanish before, and I felt so overwhelmed by the language because yes, it's Spanish, pero it's not Spanish. You know what I mean? It's like this type of Spanish. It's like really old Spanish. For every sentence that I read, there were at least 3 to 4 words that I did not understand. And for me to read a book, I don't want to have to read it having to look up words every 3 seconds. Like that's just going to ruin any reading experience. So I think for this year, or for 2026, I'm going to be trying to read the English version. I really do think this is just the best for me because at the end of the day, I want to read Don Quixote, but I also want to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm not reading it in its original language, and that's fine by me. You know, that's my choice. That's how I want to live my life. Like, I said it, so now I have to do it. Like, before I had only said it to myself in my head, but now that I said it out loud, it's something that you guys are going to like keep me accountable for, you know, like maybe once a month somebody's going to comment, so hey, have you read Don Quixote? So hey, how's Don Quixote going? Oh my God. Okay, I've said it. It's official. Like I have to do it now. Okay, anyways. I do have another huge classic. Ay, Dios mío. This has 900 pages. It's written by Charles Dickens. I think it's the biggest Charles Dickens novel that he's ever worked on. It's bigger than my head, folks. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Pero I feel like it has to happen because this is a book that I got. Actually, I got it this year, so it hasn't been that long since I've owned this book, but still, I don't want to have this for years on end on my physical TBR and not even try to read it just because of the sheer size of it. Like, it's a brick. It's a literal brick. And that is Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. Little Dorrit is one of the supreme works of Dickens's maturity. It follows Arthur Clenham, who, returning to England after many years abroad, takes a kindly interest in Amy Dorrit, his mother's seamstress, who was born and raised in the Marshalsea, where her father has long been imprisoned for debt. Okay. I mean, sure, yes. I can totally read 900 pages of a man who is interested in his mother's mistress. No, mother's mistress, no, seamstress. In Little Dorrit, Dickens attacked English institutions with a ferocity that has never since been approached. By George Orwell. Okay, it has the stamp of approval of George Orwell, so that does make me a little bit more excited to pick this one up. But we do have the way that they just keep going. It's not as big as the last 2 that I've mentioned, but it still has a pretty considerable weight. This last big classic that I want to try my hand at, and this is probably the one that I am most excited for, if I'm being honest, is the Iliad, written by Homer and translated by Emily Wilson. So I, of course, read the Odyssey this year, I think a couple of months back, I can't even remember when, but I read it because of my love and adoration for Epic the Musical, which is this, I mean, you guys know what Epic is, right? I don't have to explain it to you, but in case you haven't heard, it's this musical adaptation created by this Puerto Rican guy called Jorge. Like, yeah, we're on a first name basis for sure, absolutely. He made this musical based on the Odyssey, and he's made different sagas. He has written these beautiful lyrics and composed these stunning works of music, and they all just work together. They tell the story of Odysseus and Penelope and Telemachus so wonderfully. I feel like he does it so much justice. So since I loved Epic the Musical so much, I was like, I need to read the original material. And obviously, after reading the Odyssey and loving Emily Wilson's translation, I was like, now I need to read the Iliad. Like, I know what happens in the Iliad. I know that chronologically, the Iliad comes before the Odyssey because the Odyssey literally takes place right after the events of the Iliad. Pero since I did make a play, I mean, I didn't make the play, but I did participate in this school play that we did that was based on the Iliad. I know the gist of the story. I never read the actual original material, but I do know enough to make a play of it, or like to help make a play of the Iliad with my fellow schoolmates. So I do know enough about the Iliad. It's not going to come as a surprise when I read it, but I do want to see how Emily Wilson has translated it. I do want to, truly learn about this story and these characters and what they go through and this horrific war that they have to suffer through. The Iliad is definitely the one that I'm going to be reading first, if I'm being honest, and that's just the way it has to be. These are all of the books that I have mentioned in this video. I was gonna say these are all the books that I want to read before the year ends, pero I'm not going to be reading Don Quixote, Little Dorrit, and the Iliad in less than 60 days. I would not do that to myself. I would really love to know what you guys are going to be working on these last 2 months of 2025. Oh my goodness. Like, what are we going to be spending our time with in order to distract ourselves from the fact that another year is coming to an end? What are we going to be spending our days with? What are we going to be spending our autumn and winter with? I would love to know in the comments below. So I really hope that you've been answering alongside with me, because I just feel like, again, that would just be so fun to share all the answers together and motivate each other to do the thing. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing me or hearing me talk about all of the books that I am planning on reading and, planning for next year as well. Thank you so much for watching. I also have a Patreon where I post exclusive content. I host readathons, reading sprints, and a monthly book club. This month, we're going to be reading The Second Death of Locke, and I'm going to be doing an exclusive reading vlog for it. So if that is something that sounds interesting to you, the link is down below. As always, I would love to have you join. I feel like I've said this so many times already, but it never stops being true. And it's the fact that my favorite part of making videos is being able to talk to you guys about it, like down in the comments, and being able to interact with you guys and share our favorite books or books that shaped us, or talking about the things that are exciting us at the moment or things that have made us happy. Like, I just love being able to share these things with you guys, the things that I love and the things that make me happy, because I don't really have a place anywhere else where I can do that. So you guys are kind of like my little found family in a sense. So thank you for wanting to be a part of it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a lovely day whenever you're watching this. Happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday. And I hope your weekend is filled with joy and comfort and coziness. And thank you for letting me be a part of it. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and we will see each other very soon. Bye.
Hey Jimmy, you nice. Keep going.